First at 11, a convicted murderer leaves a transitional facility as he's waiting to be taken back to prison. How he was able to walk out just ahead.
Rain chances going up over the next couple of days. Plus, I'm tracking a big drop in our temperatures.
And the home of the Braves comes back to life. We'll bring you all of the excitement live from the Battery coming up.
11 Alive News at 11 p.m. starts now.
Tonight, a convicted killer with nothing to lose is on the run.
Right now, a statewide manhunt is underway for Charles Smith. He walked right out of a transitional center in downtown Atlanta. 11 Alive's Cody Alcorn is live outside that facility along Ponce. So, Cody, how did this even happen?
Well, you mentioned it. Smith literally walked out of this facility. Now, if he would have went to the right, we're less than a mile from 85. If he would have went left right in front of me, Ponce City Market, just a 15-minute walk. Ron mentioned he has nothing left to lose because Smith knows when he's caught, his life sentence kicks back in. A statewide bolo is out for Charles Edward Smith, convicted of murder in a 1992 homicide in Clayton County. Smith was sentenced to life with the possibility of parole in 1994. At the time, Smith was eligible for parole after 7 years, but denied.
But he would have been denied several times prior to being finally approved for parole. He received a favorable grant in March of 2021 and was released on parole. He was under parole supervision for 2 years.
Just recently, the Board of Pardons and Paroles was notified Smith violated the terms of his parole. Steve Hayes is the director of communications for the board.
Once the board was notified of the violations, it took quick action to have him detained.
Hayes says the board assessed the violations. They determined he could be placed here at this minimum security transitional center on Ponce.
And if he successfully completed that programming, then he could be returned to parole supervision in the community.
That wouldn't be the case.
He violated the terms and the criteria for placement in that facility. The board was notified of that. The board took, again, swift and decisive action and was revoking his parole.
Hayes says Smith knew this when he left the facility on Wednesday and knows what's next when he's caught.
He would resume in prison a life sentence. He would still be parole eligible. So the board at some point would have to reconsider.
We're still working to find out exactly what those violations were, but the most important thing right now is getting this convicted killer off the streets.
All right, Cody, thank you so much. Now, we do want to add some context here about Georgia's sentencing guidelines. This murder happened in 1992, but before 1995, most life sentence offenders like Smith only had to serve 7 years before becoming eligible for parole. Smith served 28 years before being granted parole, and today offenders serving life sentences who are eligible for parole must serve 30 years before being considered for release.
Right now, Atlanta police say they need your help tracking down a sexual assault suspect. Investigators say this incident happened last week by a coffee shop along Peachtree Road Northeast. Take a look at this photograph here, one of several put out by the Atlanta Police Department. They say this is the male suspect they are looking for. He's wearing a black ski mask, black pants, light colored shoes, and a multicolored shirt. If you can help track down this suspect, give Crime Stoppers a call. And of course, we got a lot more in this case online on our website at 11alive.com.
Tonight, a mixed bag for your upcoming holiday weekend weather. Our chief meteorologist, Chris Holcomb, joining us now. Chris, what's happening with those rain chances?
Yeah, we're going to see them going up tomorrow. Right now, we've been pretty much rain-free for a big part of the evening hours. We had just a couple of isolated showers in Atlanta earlier. We've been tracking some of these showers south and also over to the east of us. We had a pretty good cell that moved over Eatonton just a little while ago that had thunder and lightning with it. That continues to weaken, moving over Lake Oconee. Some additional showers here through parts of Butts County, Jasper County. Those are also weakening as they move to the north and east. In Atlanta, we've been fine. The Braves game, thank goodness, goodness, no showers popped up over the game tonight. And for the overnight hours, most areas will be dry, but we will see some showers, though, moving in to the north of us. And then these additional showers coming in tomorrow, where we're going to have some off and on rain during the day. And then on Saturday, that rain chance going up even more. Look at these temperatures. We're in the 70s now. It'll be mild in the morning, into the 60s as we see just a few of those scattered showers around. Not only are we going to see these rain chances going up, but the temperatures will be going down. We'll talk about that and whether or not the rain gets out of here in time for Easter Sunday.
All right, Chris, we'll see you again shortly. Make sure that you are on top of the rain heading your way by downloading the free 11 Alive News app and keeping it handy. If you don't have it, you can get it right now. Just scan that QR code right there on your screen. Then don't forget to turn on those alerts to get the latest weather updates for where you live. All new tonight at 11, another person is facing prison time for cheating taxpayers out of COVID-19 relief money. This time, the person convicted is a now former Fulton County Sheriff's deputy.
Yeah, apparently she was the ringleader of this scheme, working to steal more than $6 million meant for small businesses that were struggling to survive during the pandemic. 11 Alive John Sherrick is on that story for us tonight.
It was the summer of 2020. Small businesses across the country racing to get a share of the COVID relief money that Congress had just made available before the money ran out. That's when a Fulton County Sheriff's deputy named Katrina Lawson came up with her get-rich-quick scheme, a scheme that 9 months later would get her indicted by a federal grand jury, along with her co-conspirators, including 2 other Fulton County deputies. And last week, Lawson was convicted on all counts of fraud and money laundering, a dozen people convicted in all. Lawson's scheme: just pretend to be a business owner. So she filled out paperwork for COVID relief money, recruiting others who agreed to let her claim them as employees. Before she was caught, she had received more than $6 million in grants and forgivable loans. That's $6 million that should have gone to legitimate small businesses struggling to survive the pandemic. Suddenly, Lawson was a deputy who was spending big, including $74,000 for a Mercedes-Benz, $13,000 for a Kawasaki motorcycle, $9,000 for liposuction. Several times a month now, the U.S. Department of Justice announces convictions of people across the country who stole COVID relief money. Estimates of hundreds of billions of dollars stolen from deserving businesses. Katrina Lawson will be sentenced in July, 3 years after she came up with her scheme, and now facing years in federal prison. In Atlanta, John Sherrick, 11 Alive News.
Tonight, Georgia State University police have stepped up their security patrols, and that will continue through the weekend. This comes in direct response to last weekend. A man was shot in the back at the racetrack on Piedmont Avenue. That's right across from a Georgia State dining hall. And there was also this scene the night before in front of that same racetrack, a large crowd gathering at the intersection of John Wesley Dobbs and Piedmont Avenues. Georgia State University's police chief says his department is already taking steps to increase security in the area. This includes adding more street lights on certain streets and reaching out to nearby apartments that house GSU students to enforce an ID rule for guests. Today, the Biden administration proposed a new federal rule change that would allow schools to enforce some restrictions on transgender student athletes, but it opposes policies that categorically ban those students from participating on sports teams consistent with their gender. According to a public notice from the U.S. Department of Education, the proposed rule would establish that policies violate Title IX if they try to create those bans.
Oh, what a night at Truist Park. The Braves home opener ending about a half hour ago in dramatic fashion. The game-winning hit by Orlando Arcia at the bottom of the ninth. The Braves, they beat the Padres 7-6. A sellout crowd of more than 42,000 inside Truist Park tonight to soak in all the pageantry of opening day.
And what a way to kick things off at home. Many of them carrying hopes, these fans, that the Braves can end this season with their second World Series title in just 3 years. 11 Alive's Bobeth Yates joining us now live at Truist Park. Bobeth, what was it like out there?
Well, the best way I can describe it is electric. The fans were excited for tonight's home opener, especially after the wins on the road, to come back and do it again right here at home.
This is a big deal.
David Hull was among the about 41,000 people who packed Truist Park for the Braves home opener. And according to him and his friends, he may be the team's secret weapon.
A friend of mine who I worked with at CNN in the sports department years ago swears that I'm good luck, because the only other time I came for opening day was 2 years ago, and the Braves won the World Series. So he's invited me back because I'm a good luck charm. That's why I'm here.
And Hull isn't the only fan with a special reason for attending tonight's game.
My son is 8, and he just started playing baseball, so this is our first major league game, and I wanted to bring him out to see the Braves.
And when we asked Hardy's son what he's excited the most about, he responded,
the home run.
And then there are those who just came to see a good game.
I go to school in Tennessee, so I had to come back and see opening day.
But whatever the reason for attending the game, getting to the ballpark wasn't a walk in the park. Fans had to endure lots of traffic on the highway and by the stadium. But for the true Brave fans, it was all worth it.
Definitely a lot of traffic. Parking was not too bad. Took us 10 minutes to get over here, but traffic was a little bad.
Well, traffic's a problem in Atlanta, as you know, even when there's no ball game. Even when there's a holiday and everybody sleeps in, there's still traffic.
Now, the fans also told me they were excited about the food, so guess what? I got one of the hot dogs.
So, you know what,
It's
Bobette?
good.
So, I know you got food in your mouth right now, so it's probably hard for you to talk. But I got a question for you and J-Bell here. Do you like ketchup or mustard or both on your hot dog?
Well, before Bobeth even answers, because that hot dog looked naked to me. It looked like there was nothing on it, Bobeth. You need
This
some
was
toppings.
naked. It was naked, but I only like ketchup, and I couldn't find any, so it's either ketchup or nothing.
I need both.
You
I
need
like
both?
ketchup and mustard. No onions.
For baseball, it's only mustard.
No onions, just ketchup.
Just mustard, okay.
To each their own, but at least, look, we can all agree on being happy that the Braves pulled out a win on this home opener. Bobeth, thank you so much.
Yeah, that looks like a lot of fun. Hey, straight ahead, you're going to find out why folks in Atlanta's west side are all fed up, why trains are causing such a headache, and why lawmakers are now getting involved.
And a family claims that caregivers are killing their own children because they can no longer care for them. What advocates say must be done to save kids. Next. It is a headline most parents can't even imagine. A caregiver killing their own child or dependent because they can no longer care for them. But it's the reality for an adult care facility for people with profound disabilities in Georgia.
And it happened twice in the past few years, and people who work there told Caitlin Ross they're trying to make sure it never happens again.
Megan was one of ours, and we felt like the story needed to be told.
Megan Fricks was 26 and a former client of the care facility for people with disabilities when she was killed by her father this winter before he took his own life.
This can't be happening again. It cannot be happening again.
Just 2 years earlier, Creative Enterprises client Amy Hughes was killed by her caregiver, but her name was never in the news.
She was sunshine, and she was a good friend, and she was funny.
It seems unthinkable. How could someone kill a loved one with special needs? It's happening more than we realize. A report from the Rudderman Family Foundation found someone with a disability is killed once a week.
I was just tired of it being sugar-coated, and I just felt like people needed to understand the reality of this is what these families go through.
Liken it to walking around with a stick of dynamite.
There's no break, there's no vacation.
It's very isolating.
Yeah, until you live it, it's really hard to explain.
Places like Creative Services Forsyth offer support, but thousands of families in Georgia don't have access to that type of care.
It's a chronic grief. It's a heartbreak daily.
Tiffany Avenger Williams wears a helmet in her home to protect herself from her son.
Yeah, I love you.
She says there's less she can do to protect her heart.
Love you.
I don't have a plan. There is no plan B. There is nothing.
She says she understands the desperation parents feel when there's nowhere for their kids to go.
Parents always say, I'm not supposed to outlive my kids. But in my case, I gotta outlive mine.
They are all calling for the state to increase support for families caring for people with profound disabilities. They need people to care.
Truly, I was frustrated and I was heartbroken. And I just felt like, how many times does this have to happen before something changes?
By the way, the people at Creative Enterprises set up a fundraiser to pay for Megan's funeral. They built a gazebo to honor Amy in their garden, and they say these women were loved and they should be remembered.
Happening today, a visit to Georgia from the nation's second in command. Vice President Kamala Harris stopped in Dalton to announce a partnership between clean energies companies QCell and Summit Ridge Energy. She says this will help create 2,500 jobs in Georgia. The city was once known as the carpet capital in the world, and before an economic recession forced many factories there to either downsize or either shut down entirely. Today, though, the vice president used the company as a model of success in welcoming new industry.
Dalton, we see what you have accomplished, and we see the path that you've laid. We see a future with more jobs, more factories, and more opportunity. And we are fighting with you to make that vision real.
The Republican National Committee issued a statement criticizing what they call an out-of-touch agenda, adding that the administration plans to put in place a $6.9 trillion tax and spending spree paid for by the American people.
Here are some other headlines we're following for you tonight. So folks living in Atlanta's west side want rail company CSX Transportation to keep its trains from blocking those intersections in some cases for days. So this morning, some of those who live in the west side of Atlanta in that neighborhood are now calling for action. They say trains stalled on the tracks, blocking intersections has been a huge problem near Chappelle and Martin Luther King Jr. Drive for decades. And residents say not only is it an inconvenience, it's annoying and it's leaving them in a dangerous situation if there is an emergency. Now, in response, we did receive a statement from the train company saying that they're going to keep looking at ways to keeping lengthy crossing blockages from occurring while maintaining safe and efficient operations. Today, Governor Brian Kemp suspended 2 Douglas County commissioners indicted in an alleged bid rigging scheme. A grand jury indicted Commissioner Henry Mitchell III and County Commissioner Chairman Ramona Jackson Jones and the County Tax Commissioner on conspiracy to rig the janitorial contract. So there was a state mandate ordered by Governor Brian Kemp. His executive order said that the indictments do adversely affect the county administration, so he ordered the suspensions. They will be in effect until the case is either decided or their elected terms in office expire, whichever comes first.
Right now, a lot of folks wondering what kind of weather we will be seeing for this holiday weekend. So our chief meteorologist, Chris Holcomb, is the expert that we come to for when we can expect some of that rain, Chris.
Yeah, we've got a lot of changes moving our way over the next few days, not only with rain chances, but also with our temperatures. Now, we made it through the evening hours for the Braves game without any rain around here in the metro area, but we have been tracking some showers over to the east of us. A lot of those are fading out right now. That cell that was over Eatonton and Putnam County had a lot of thunder and lightning with it. It's falling apart. Another one here coming out of Monroe County, moving into parts of Butts County and Jasper County. That is also weakening too. Here in Atlanta, we're dry right now. We had a few showers a little bit earlier. They were very isolated though, and they have moved out. And we'll be dry for a while before another round of rain moves in during the day tomorrow. Now, tomorrow's rain chances are going to be a little more scattered, but we just have a bunch of moisture that's going to be feeding our way, not only for tomorrow, but especially into Saturday, where those rain chances are going to be higher. So take a look at Truist Park right now. Everything's dry. It was dry for the game tonight. It may be a little different for tomorrow's game. It's at 7:20 tomorrow night as well. We start off at first pitch, temperatures around 64, moving down into the 50s through the end of the game, but a little higher rain chance tomorrow. Again, I don't think it's going to rain the whole game, but there will be some scattered showers, we think, tomorrow night. We're just going to go with a 5 on the wasometer. That's on our scale from 1 to 11, where an 11 is a perfect day. Temperatures, comfortable, but not as warm as they were today. We got up to 83 today. Tomorrow is going to be 74, and then even colder air coming in for Saturday. So here's the timeline of what we're watching. In the morning, I think metro Atlanta and areas to the south will be dry. We'll have some showers, though, on the north side early tomorrow. At lunchtime, maybe some breaks in the rain, but in the afternoon, scattered showers redeveloping, maybe some pockets of thunder and lightning, but we don't expect anything severe. And then look at Saturday. Not only in the morning hours will we have rain, but look at all that moisture that's going to keep feeding into our area. The moisture coming in from the south and west, but then check this out. At the surface, we have a northeasterly flow. That's going to be responsible for giving us the really chilly air here on Saturday. And then by Sunday morning, most of the rain down to the south. We have improving weather for your Easter Sunday. As we dry out, we'll see a little more sunshine, but it's still going to be on the cool side. So here's the 7-day outlook. Tomorrow, about 74 with some scattered showers. Highest rain chance will be on Saturday with that. Oh man, look at that temperature. 51 for a high. We're back to 62 Sunday as we clear out. Then partly cloudy Monday and Tuesday. Back to the lower 70s Tuesday, mid 70s Wednesday and Thursday, with another chance for showers pushing our way by Thursday.
I'll tell you, home openers don't get much better than this. 13 combined runs and a walk-off winner in the bottom of the ninth. Coming up after this commercial break, I'll break down all the highlights we'll hear from the Braves as they get their first win here at home in 2023. Welcome back, everybody, and welcome inside Truist Park for what was a home opener for the ages for this Atlanta Braves team, hosting the San Diego Padres on Thursday and winning in walk-off fashion in the bottom of the ninth. A fitting tribute to the manager, Brian Snitker, who managed his 1,000th game on Thursday. And while this game got crazy in the late part of the game, the early part, all about Spencer Strider, the flamethrower, who pitched very well in his second start of the year. Now, Strider had a most working, matching his strikeout total from his first outing, fanning 9 Padres in 5 innings of work. He did walk 3 and give up a 3-run home run to Matt Carpenter, though. But overall, Strider had his team in the game down the stretch. But in the end, the hero was the guy that battled for the starting shortstop job during spring training, Orlando Arcia. He got the job for his veteran glove, but he was 3 for 4 on Thursday at the dish with a home run and the walk-off win of the night to push the Braves past the Padres 7-6 in 9 innings.
He's terrific. You know, everybody, I think, knew how good of a fielder he was, and right now he's swinging the bat really well. So if he's hitting the way he's hitting, then we're going to be in a really, really good spot.
He's got a slow heartbeat. He's confident in his abilities. He did a really good job for us. Didn't surprise anybody. He did a great job last year when Ozzie went down.
One health update. Michael Harris II, who left this game mid-game, was left with some back tightness that when he injured his back hitting the wall on a catch. He will be day-to-day going forward. As for tomorrow, the Braves face off against the Padres in Game 2 at 7:20 on Friday.
All right, Reggie, thanks a lot. We got a final check of that forecast when we come back.
We're going to see a few showers possible in the morning, some breaks maybe around lunchtime, and then more showers into the afternoon. Rumbles of thunder are possible, but we don't expect anything severe. Temperatures are up to about 74 degrees for a high. That's going to be trending about 9 degrees cooler than it was out there for today. And then look at Saturday. Talk about cooler. A high of only 51 with rainy conditions. It is not going to be a fun day at all on Saturday. Wet and chilly out there. We do think it'll be improving on Sunday with decreasing clouds. The rain will be out of here. Highs near 62. Still cool though. Back to 65 Monday, 70s Tuesday and Wednesday with the rain chance returning by Thursday.
Okay, so for sunrise service, those participating, it's going to be a little chilly.
Yeah, it'll be cool out there. Clouds most likely hanging, so we may not see much of a sunrise.
Okay.
We'll take it if there's no rain. Hey, thanks so much for being with us tonight for 11 Alive News at 11. Be sure to join our morning team starting at 4:30. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon's up next. Have a great night.